In my last video, I talked about my first ever game jam, and what you're seeing on screen now are the 2 other games made for the 3 game jams I've participated in since then. Now, I'll have videos for those in the coming weeks, but today I want to talk about the game jam, or at least one of the game jams that I'm currently participating in. GDKO 2023. GDKO, or Game Dev Knockout, is a 5-round tournament-styled game dev competition where, starting in January, participants will complete specific tasks related to game dev, such as designing a level or creating an interesting mechanic to advance. The people with the lowest score each round are dropped, eventually leading to a 5-person finale in May. Now, if you just want to see the game in action and don't want to hear my unedited rambling in the next section of the video, I'll have a timestamp to a quick run-through of the level down below. And if you want to play the game in your browser, that link will be in the description as well. Thank you. So this is what I started with, basically. I've got a background with some stars, got a tileable ground texture, nothing too fancy. The first major prop I put in was this city and the floating eyeball. Didn't know what I was going to do from this point, but I just really liked that. And then next, we've got a pillar and some crystals. Making assets before planning out the level probably wasn't the best idea, but I just like doing the art. The art's the fun part for me. The level design and all that is secondary, and it's probably not the right way to do things, but I enjoy it. So I'm going to run through and we'll see what I added and talk about it. This unused, didn't like it. Just some big amorphous blob. Nothing too special there. Mid-ground, got some rocks for parallax. I think I ended up using all of them, but I don't like how bright these rocks are. They don't really fit. I need to maybe tone it down a bit. I've got even smaller rocks. Just a lot of rocks. Nothing fancy there. Platforms, I just took the ground texture, cut it up, added them up here. No rhyme or reason to their placement just yet. They just threw them up there. Waterfall, what's that? Oh, yeah, I was gonna add some blood waterfalls somewhere in there. Didn't end up doing that. Didn't like them. They just didn't really fit, and there was too much red, really, for me. Chains. We've got chains, and this is connected to something you'll see a little later. And I just wanted to use the GDevelop's ladder climb feature for their top-down or their platformer characters. I want to see how that worked, so I added some chains connecting the platforms so you could climb those. Swords and stuff. There's just some foreground, background kind of stuff. Kind of to show that you weren't the first person here, maybe. Yeah. Other people have tried and come here and died or something like that. Foreground, I have one. It's this big chain. Nothing great about that. Bloodstains. What is that? Right. I added some bloodstains to this pillar, and the reason for that was because I was going to connect it with a big old chain. So it kind of fit. You have this big chain connecting over to this city. So I don't know, it kind of tied it together, but I didn't have time to work on the chain, and it just looks really unfinished, and wasn't really happy with it. Next, healing. Yes. So this little fountain, I guess, is animated in the game, but this is where you'd go, you see one of these, you're like, oh great, I can heal. Wonderful. Gem. Collectible. Simple. Got it up here. Simple animation. Just a little shine. Let you know it's something to collect, Not gonna, no. Tutorial pillar, right. I was gonna have a pillar here that described the controls and all that, but it's just a waste of time. The enemy, a little eyeball floating in a blood bubble. I wasn't really sure what I was going for here, but I enjoyed just designing him. He's a little cute guy. There's an attack animation. Blood just shoots out towards the bottom, and the little eyeballs in there shaking around. Nothing fancy. Next, what is this? Oh, right. Another background piece. This floating skull. I decided not to add the jaw because I'm terrible at anatomy and drawing things like that, but I kept it kind of cute. Little third eyeball up there. The NPC, this guy, I think took me the longest to do. Someone pointed out he looks like Patrick from SpongeBob. Yeah, he does. Dismembered Patrick. So that's what we got here. Chained up entity, some sort of lesser god or something like that. I intended to have you be able to speak with him, but I mean, what's the point? I'm just trying to show off the level, you know. You don't need all the mechanics and all that. So yeah, there he is. He's got this text here. I don't know what it says, but maybe I'll make something out of it later. Ribbon? Oh, just some extra stuff. I thought maybe I'll animate those. Decided not to do that. Layer 16. Should have named these. Oh, yeah, it's got to be the chest. Yep, chest. Didn't use that either. Just didn't feel like I needed it. And the one other thing I thought about adding somewhere over here was this little mushroom enemy. Little groove shroom. He kind of just shimmies towards you. And it just didn't really fit. He's kind of purple. Everything's kind of red, you know. I mean, I could have changed his color, but, you know. So this is the basic art that I had going into it. And this is not what the final game looks like. It's mostly the same. Some platforms here and there. Some more enemies. The pillar, I added some striations or cuts into it to show how many enemies were remaining. But that's about it for the art side of things.